My name is Bella Rossi, and my whole career can be destroyed by one man's fork. Not a lawsuit, not a scandal, a fork. Specifically, the polished silver fork waiting at table 12 in my dining room, about to be picked up by the most feared food critic in New York City. No pressure. Order in table 12. Marco shouts from the pass, his voice cutting through the roar of the kitchen. Pans hiss, burners roar, plates clatter. The air is thick with butter, garlic, and nerves. Heat pours from the flames, wrapping my skin in a damp sheen. The kitchen is a living thing, loud, hot, and mine. Fire, 2 scallops, 1 lamb, 1 veg, tasting I call. Let's move, people. Yes, chef, the line answers. This is my world. The hot line, the pass, the chaos. I'm executive chef of Luce, a new fine dining spot in Manhattan that every blog calls the one to watch. Tonight we're being watched by Gordon Cole, the devil's tongue. He's mid-30s, rumor says, but already a legend. One brutal review from him, and a place can go from 3-month waitlist to empty tables in a week. He writes like a surgeon with a sense of humor, slicing you open while he makes the crowd laugh. He also never accepts free meals. If he's here, he chose this. He chose me. Chef Marco murmurs, leaning over the pass. We could send out an extra course. A little truffle something. A peace offering. I'm not bribing him, I say. I'm feeding him. Big difference. Same goal, different language. I ignore him and turn to the sauté station. Mia talked to me about those scallops. Dry room temp pan is hot, chef, she says. 2 minutes each side. I got this. Good, I say, because if he chews on rubber tonight, I'm moving. She snorts. Yes, chef. I check the lamb resting in the low oven crust, crisp fat rendered. The vegetarian plate, a cauliflower steak with black garlic and hazelnut, is already waiting under the lamps. 2 minutes on scallops, Mia calls. Plates up, I tell Marco. We're dressing for the devil, he grimaces. I really hate when you call him that. I really hate that it fits, I say. It still feels unreal. Gordon Cole in my dining room. When Anya, my maitre d', whispered it in my ear an hour ago, my brain went blank. Then training kicked in, hands moving, voice steady, heart pounding. Lamb is ready, Diego says. Slice it, I answer. Let it show off. The restaurant is full. Out there, no one cares about my life, only the food. Scallops up, Mia says. I step in. 3 scallops per plate, caramelized and glossy. A ribbon of celery root puree, a drizzle of lemon brown butter, microgreens, 1 purple flower. Wipe the rims, I say. I want him to see his future in that porcelain. Diego slides the lamb onto its plate, perfect pink center. Marco adds the cauliflower. Table 12, I say. My voice is calm. My palms are not. Send it. The servers swoop in, lifting plates like treasure. The bell rings once sharp final, and then my food is gone. Out there heading for the man whose words can turn everything I bled for into a joke. The kitchen keeps moving. New tickets fire. Sauces are tasted, pans deglazed. I bark orders, taste everything twice. On the outside, I am steady. Inside, part of me is hovering at table 12, watching a stranger raise his fork. 5 minutes pass, then 10. Chef Mia asks quietly, You good? We're fine, I say. The double doors swing open, and Anya appears at the edge of the kitchen. She never steps back here during peak service. My stomach drops. Chef, she says, smoothing her black suit. Table 12 would like to meet you. The whole line goes still. Request or demand, I ask. A very polite demand, she says. He insisted. He. Of course. I wipe my hands on my apron, check my jacket, smooth my hair into a knot that suggests I have my life together. You've got this, Marco murmurs. I know, I say. I don't. But I push through the doors anyway. The dining room is another universe, dim, warm, all low laughter and polished glass. Conversations soften as I pass. Diners track me with quiet curiosity. Table 12 sits near the back window, half hidden. He sits alone. Gordon Cole. Dark blonde hair, sharp jaw, suit tailored within an inch of its life. His tie is loosened. A slim leather notebook rests by his hand, a pen lined up on top. His eyes lift as I approach. They're not cold. That's the first surprise. They're analytical, curious. That's worse. Chef Rossi, he says, rising as I reach the table. His voice is smooth with the faintest hint of London on a few vowels. Thank you for stepping out. Mr. Cole, I reply. My kitchen can manage a few minutes without me. From what I saw through the past, they move when you breathe, he says. So I'm honored you risked it. I can't tell if that's a compliment or a test. Anya said you wanted to see me, I say. He gestures to the empty plate in front of him, just streaks and crumbs. That was, he says slowly, the best cooked scallop I've had this year. Pride flares sharp and hot. Thank you, I say. The lamb was confident, he adds. The cauliflower ambitious. A little busy, but it lands. So you didn't hate it, I say. Good to know before you publish a eulogy for my career. One corner of his mouth lifts. You don't like critics. I don't like strangers who can burn down 5 years of work with a few clever sentences, I say. Feels unfair. I cooked professionally, he says. Before this. I know exactly how unfair it is. In a real kitchen, I ask. He smiles, brief and real. Yes, chef. In 3 Michelin kitchens before I decided I preferred using words. That scrambles my picture of him. Then you know service is still going, I say. I don't have a lot of time for games. And yet here you are, he says lightly. So let's not waste it. He taps the edge of the plate with his fork, the small metallic sound finding its way straight into my spine. This is excellent work, he says, technically flawless, balanced. But I ask. There it is, he murmurs. You know there's a but. There's always a but with you. The food is excellent, he says, but it's safe. Safe, I repeat. You cook like someone auditioning for a star she already earned, he says. Everything feels designed by committee. You cleaned every plate. Of course I did, he says. I'm not a monster. I don't leave good food behind. But when I walk out of here tonight, I'm asking myself what sticks. It's the scallops. Because for a moment, it felt like you stopped thinking and just cooked. His gaze fixes on my face. You're angry, he adds quietly. Would you like me to apologize, I ask. Not at all, he says. Angry chefs are honest. But you're still holding something back. He leans in elbows on the table. Cook me something you're not allowed to put on the menu, he says. No fancy plating, no approval. Just you and a pan the way you'd cook at 2 in the morning when you're tired and honest. That's not how this restaurant works, I say. We have a menu, a brand. You have a choice, he interrupts. Serve me the safe version. I'll give you a polite 3 stars and a paragraph that keeps you full for a while. Or you show me the chef who's actually running that kitchen. Maybe I love it. Maybe I don't. But I promise you this. His voice drops softer. I won't forget you. Something in my chest shifts. It feels a little like fear, and a little like possibility. In the kitchen, I preach that we never cook for critics. We cook for ourselves and the ghosts who raised us. But I'm not naive. Reviews pay rent. You're toying with me, I say. Of course, he says. But the offer is real. We look at each other across the small table. My sensible side says, walk away. Go back to the line. Take the safe review. Keep the job. Keep the lights on. The rest of me, the hot-headed hungry part, leans forward. Fine, I say. You want the real thing? Yes. Stay in your seat, I tell him. And don't write a single word until I bring it to you. For the first time tonight, his smile looks genuinely pleased. There she is, he murmurs. I turn, heart punching at my ribs, and head back toward the kitchen doors. The heat, the noise, the flames are waiting. So is the devil's tongue. And for the first time in a long time, I'm not just scared to feed him. I'm excited. When I push back through the double doors, the kitchen erupts into motion again, but the energy has shifted. Everyone can feel it coming off me, tighter, sharper, hotter. I've cooked thousands of dishes in my life, but never with a critic's eyes still burning into the back of my skull. I can feel Gordon Cole behind me, as if he followed me into the kitchen, even though he's still sitting in the dining room. Chef Marco asks, sliding beside me as I wash my hands. What did he say? Nothing, I answer. Everything. Bella, he warns. I pull open the fridge and grab ingredients without thinking. Spaghetti eggs. Pancetta pepper, Parmigiano Reggiano, garlic, lemon. This is muscle memory, not strategy. I am making carbonara. Not the menu version, not the fancy version, my version. The dish I learned barefoot on a tile floor in my grandmother's kitchen in Rome. The one I make at 2 a.m. The one I don't let anyone touch because it feels too close to home. Too real. Okay, so we're doing this, Marco mutters. Everybody clear her path. The line cooks shift without question. They know when I enter a zone, and right now I'm not a chef cooking for a critic. I'm a woman being dared to show her soul. The pan hits the burner with a metallic slam. Flame explodes upward, licking at the rim. I swear I hear my heartbeat in the roar. Spaghetti boiling in 3 minutes, Diego calls. No, I say. Fresh. Now. Mia's eyes widen. You want fresh pasta at peak service? I want honesty, I say. Flour, eggs, hands, move. She nods and grabs the board. The flour hits the wood with a soft thud, the eggs crack with small satisfying pops. I kneel beside her and plunge my hands in. Warm dough coats my fingers, sticky elastic alive. The smell is faint and comforting egg-wheat childhood. You okay, Chef? Mia asks gently. Ask me in 10 minutes, I say. The dough comes together fast. I roll, knead, fold, press. Every movement is a memory, my grandmother's hands guiding mine, telling me that pasta listens to your mood. If you're angry, it gets tough. If you're sad, it falls apart. You have to cook with a clear heart. Tonight, my heart is anything but clear. Cut it, I say, sliding the dough toward Diego. He runs it through the machine, long golden ribbons of fresh pasta curling out the other side. Steam fogs the stainless steel surfaces as pots boil over. Drop it, I say. The fresh pasta hits the salted water, tumbling in a tiny whirlpool. My senses narrow. I smell pancetta, sizzling fat, crisping, sweet and smoky. I hear the crackle, the spit. My brain quiets. Pepper, I say. Marco hands me the grinder and I twist it hard, letting the smell wrap around me, sharp, earthy grounding. The eggs are beaten with cheese into a pale sun-yellow cream. The pasta is ready in 90 seconds. I lift it with tongs, steaming, dripping, glistening. No cream, I remind myself quietly. Never cream. I toss the pasta into the pancetta, letting the fat coat each strand. The sound is soft, seductive pasta sighing against the metal. Then I kill the heat and pour in the egg mixture, tossing fast and smooth to avoid scrambling. The sauce thickens, instantly glossy and silky. A perfect carbonara. It smells like home. It smells like truth. Plate, I say. Marco places a warm bowl in front of me. I twirl the pasta into a mound, sprinkle more cheese, grind pepper until the top is speckled black and white. It looks simple, deceivingly simple, the kind of dish only ruins itself if you lie. Service, I tell the runner. Straight to table 12. Don't let it cool. As the bowl leaves my hands, so does the part of me I never show anyone. The next 10 minutes stretch like elastic. I'm back at the pass, but I'm not fully here. Orders come in, plates go out, but my focus is split straight down the middle. I keep imagining him lifting that fork again, tasting something I didn't polish or perfect, just cooked. My hands shake once. Just once. Marco notices. Of course he does. You gave him something personal, didn't you? He asks. I don't answer. The kitchen is lava hot, louder than ever, but beneath all of it is a faint buzzing tension, like the air before a thunderstorm. Then the doors open. Anya steps inside again. Her face is unreadable. My stomach plummets. Chef, she says. Mr. Cole asked for you. Again. The kitchen freezes. Even the pans seem to quiet. I exhale once, long and slow. Okay, I whisper. I wipe my hands, straighten my jacket, roll my shoulders back, and walk. This time, when I enter the dining room, my pulse is violent. I'm not scared of him. I'm scared of what he does to me, how he makes me feel seen in a way that feels too close, too dangerous. Table 12 is waiting. He's sitting exactly as before, back straight, hands folded, notebook closed. And the carbonara bowl is empty. Clean. Scraped. That's a good sign. Or a terrible one. He wipes plates clean even when he hates them, I now know that. He looks up. His eyes are warmer this time. Not soft. Never soft. But warmer. Chef Rossi, he says quietly. Sit with me. I hesitate. He notices. I'm not here to intimidate you. Not right now. So I sit, across from him, heart loud in my ears. For a moment he doesn't speak. He studies me. Not my food, not my plating. Me. The heat of the kitchen is still on my skin. My hair smells like smoke and herbs. My hands smell like garlic and eggs. I should feel self-conscious, but instead I feel alive. Finally, he nods at the empty bowl. That, he says, was the first dish tonight that tasted like someone's heartbeat. The words hit me so hard I forget to breathe. You cooked like you weren't performing, he continues. Like you weren't thinking about me or my review. You cooked like someone who loves food more than she fears failure. That's dramatic, I say lightly. He leans in. It's honest. Are you satisfied now, I ask? No, he says. I'm curious. That word lands strangely. Not flattery, something sharper. You're different from your menu, he adds. Your hands know things your restaurant doesn't let you say. Cooking is not therapy, I say. It is for you, he replies. I can taste it. Something warm slides up my throat, annoyance, embarrassment, and something dangerously close to attraction. I don't like how he sees through me. I don't like how my pulse reacts when he speaks softly like this. You really don't hold back, I say. Neither do you, he counters. Not when you're not pretending. What do you want Gordon to know you? My heart stutters. He notices that too. His eyes drop to my throat, watching the quick pulse at the base of my neck. I'm not flirting, he says. Not exactly. You have a strange way of introducing yourself if you're not. He smiles slow and small. I told you already. I cooked before I wrote. I know passion when I see it. And I know restraint. You have both. I swallow. The restaurant falls away. The noise blurs. It's just him, the empty bowl, and the space between us that feels hotter than the kitchen. I need to get back to my line, I whisper. Yes, he says. But before you go, he slides his leather notebook across the table. My breath catches. Page 32, he says. It's not a review. Not yet. It's something else. I open it slowly. Inside is a list. One sentence repeated 3 times. She's better than they let her be. My throat tightens. I close the notebook. Why are you doing this, I ask. Because he says softly, I want to see what you become when no one is holding you back. Then he stands. Good night, Chef Rossi. And he leaves me there breathless, burning, and more alive than I've felt in years. I barely sleep that night. Every time I close my eyes, I see his notebook. Page 32. That one line carved into my brain. She's better than they let her be. It wasn't even a compliment. It was a challenge, a dare, a mirror he shoved in my face and forced me to look through. The next morning, the kitchen feels wrong without the pressure of last night. Too quiet, too predictable. I move through prep like a machine, checking inventory, trimming steaks, inspecting produce, yet my mind keeps drifting. Chef Marco says, slicing shallots beside me. You're spacing out. No, I answer, I'm thinking. That's worse. Before I can snap back, Mia bursts through the back door. She's breathless, flushed. He's here, she gasps. I freeze. Who do you think, table 12? I drop my knife so fast it clatters. You're kidding. Nope, she says. The devil's tongue is back. I curse quietly. We're not even open yet. He's in the dining room, she says. Just sitting. With a laptop. The kitchen erupts again. Line cooks whispering, dishwashers peeking toward the doors, servers exchanging nervous looks. It's chaos. Marco nudges me. Bella, breathe. But I can't. Why is he here? He already tasted everything. He already formed an opinion. Critics don't return the next morning unless I've done something terrible. Or something unforgettable. I wipe my hands on my apron, push through the doors, and there he is. Table 12 feels smaller in daylight. Sunlight spills across the floor-to-ceiling windows. And in the corner, Gordon sits with a coffee and his laptop, open glasses perched low on his nose. He looks less intimidating like this. Too human. But the moment his eyes lift to mine, the effect shatters. Chef Rossi, he says softly, closing his laptop. Good morning. I cross my arms. We're not open. I know, he says. I asked them to let me sit here until you arrived, and they just agreed. He cocks one eyebrow. I can be very persuasive. I sit opposite him, not entirely by choice. My body seems to move on instinct, drawn toward him like metal to a magnet. Why are you here, Gordon? I ask. To finish our conversation. We didn't have a conversation, I argue. You monologued. I tried not to throw a plate at you. You didn't, he says, smiling faintly. And that's progress. I exhale sharply. Look, I appreciate last night, but you can't just appear in my restaurant like you own it. I don't, he says calmly. But I could. My breath stalls. He didn't say it with arrogance. He said it as a fact, the way someone might mention having an umbrella in the rain. You're unbelievable, I mutter. True. And self-centered. Yes. And irritating. He smiles wider. Only to you. My pulse tightens in my throat. Say what you came to say. He laces his fingers, leaning forward. I want to watch you cook. Real cooking. Not the menu, not the rules. You. My stomach flips. Absolutely not. Why? Because you're a critic, I snap. Because you write for millions of people. Because everything I do becomes content for you. Not everything he says quietly. Some things are just for me. The air stutters. He watches me too closely, like he's dissecting my thoughts. I hate it. I crave it. I don't know what to do with it. Is this a game to you, I ask? No, he answers. It's research. Research, I repeat. I'm writing a book, he says. A memoir about passion, culinary passion. I need authenticity. A pause. You have it. I blink. So you want to observe me? Yes. In my kitchen? Yes. You know that makes you sound like a psychopath. He laughs, soft, genuine, unexpected. Probably. I shake my head and stand. No. Absolutely not. He stands too. Too close. His heat brushes mine, barely there, but impossible to ignore. Bella, he murmurs, you cooked me truth. I'm only asking to see the person behind it. Why, I whisper. He leans in. Because you're the only chef in this city who still cooks like she remembers what hunger feels like. Everything inside me goes still. Heavy. Seen. I swallow hard. You don't even know me. Not yet, he says, but I will. I step back. Too fast. Too obvious. I have to prep, I say. Service starts in 4 hours. I'll stay out of your way, he promises. You can't stay here. He shrugs. I already ordered lunch. I gape. We aren't serving lunch. You are today, he says, sitting again. Surprise me. I want to throw him out. I want to hit him with a tray. I want to cook for him again. I hate him. I like him. I don't know which terrifies me more. Back in the kitchen, the air feels different. Electric. My staff pretends not to look at me, but their curiosity is loud enough to punch through the stainless steel. Chef Mia whispers, barely containing her grin. Is he staying? Unfortunately, I mutter. Marco laughs. Congrats, Bella. You've adopted a critic. I don't want him, I hiss. He wants you, Marco says. Professionally. Probably. I ignore them and dive into prep. But I'm aware of him. Not physically, he's not in the kitchen, but mentally. My hands move faster. My senses sharpen. Every sound, sizzling oil, chopping knives, boiling broth, feels louder. Music plays from the overhead speakers, a soft jazz track that shouldn't feel intimate but does. I taste a spoonful of lemon beurre blanc. Too sharp. I fix it. I chop herbs too quickly, almost nicking my thumb. Why does he get under my skin? Why do I care what he thinks when I've fought my entire career not to care? Chef Mia says quietly. What, you're blushing? I slap a hand to my cheek, hot as the stovetop. It's the heat. It's January, she says. I said it's the heat. 2 hours later, Anya enters the kitchen again. Chef, she says, table 12 is ready for his lunch. I glare at her. Do not make that sentence a habit. He asked politely. She says. Great, I say. Let's give him a polite heart attack. But inside, something else is happening. Excitement. Fear. Spark. I pull ingredients again, not fancy ones this time. Not expensive ones. The things I love. Tomatoes, olive oil, garlic, basil, fresh mozzarella. Simple. Vulnerable. I make a tomato soup like the one I used to eat outside the Vatican walls when I was too poor for real meals. I make a grilled mozzarella sandwich with sourdough so buttery it drips on the plate. Comfort food. Truth food. When I plate it, I pause. This is not Chef Bella. This is just Bella. My throat tightens, but I carry it out myself. Gordon looks up as I approach. His laptop is gone. He's leaning back in his chair, sleeves rolled up, forearms tanned and strong in a way I never expected from a writer. He sees the plate and stills. That smells incredible, he says. Don't say that, I reply. Why not? Because it makes me think you're human. His lips twitch. Serve me, chef. I place the bowl and the sandwich in front of him. He inhales once, deep, slow, reverent. Sit, he says. I'm not sitting. Sit anyway. I sit. He picks up the spoon and tastes the soup. His eyes close. I exhale a shaky breath. He takes a bite of the sandwich, and then he says in the quietest voice I've heard from him, "Bella, this is the first thing I've eaten in years that made me feel something." Heat rushes through me, anger, relief, something dangerously tender. "You're impossible," I whisper. "No," he says, opening his eyes. "I'm starving, and you're the first chef who remembered to feed me." For a moment, neither of us breathes. Then his phone buzzes. He checks the screen, jaw tightening. "I have to take this." He stands. But before he leaves, he touches the notebook on the table and says, "Page 43. Read it when you're ready." He walks away. I stare at the notebook like it might detonate. When I finally open it, the words hit like a blow. I came here to write a review. Instead, I found a chef who makes me want to write again. My breath shakes. This man is going to ruin me. Or save me. I don't know which, but I already know I'm not walking away. The third time Gordon walks into my restaurant, my pulse betrays me before anyone speaks. It's 3 days after the carbonara. I'm portioning fish when Anya leans into the kitchen, eyes bright. "Chef," she says, "he's back. Tell him we open at 6. "I would," she says, "but he's in Charlotte's office." Charlotte Hart, owner, investor, queen of our concept, when cameras roll, and my money when they don't. If Gordon is with her, this isn't a casual visit. "Cover me," I tell Marco. I wash my hands and head down the hall. Charlotte's door is half open. Her polished voice drifts out, followed by his lower one. A behind-the-pass piece, he's saying. "Real kitchens, real heat. Your chef would be the centerpiece." "We're fully booked," Charlotte replies. "We don't need features." "You'll need them less," he says, "if my review is kind." I knock and step in. Charlotte sits flawless behind her glass desk. Gordon lounges opposite, sleeves rolled, notebook on his knee. His gaze flicks over my stained jacket and messy hair. His mouth almost curves. "Bella," Charlotte says smoothly. "Good. Come in." "Chef," he says, and the word lands too deep. "You wanted me?" I ask. "Mr. Cole has an idea," Charlotte says. "He's doing an in-depth profile on modern kitchens. He wants to shadow you during service. Observe only." Gordon nods. "People like to read about the person behind the plates. I'd stay out of the way." "For the review?" I ask. "For a book," he answers. "The review's mostly formed. I let it sit before I sharpen the wording. And I say." He watches me. "You really want the verdict early?" "Yes," Charlotte says. "We do." He smiles slow. "Then you'll have to earn it." From a brand perspective, Charlotte continues. "This is perfect. We highlight our chef show, the craft. It sells tables. It's pressure on the line," I say. "You handle pressure," she says. "You always do." I look at him. "What do you get?" "A closer look at the real you," he says. "Not the interview version. I'm not a zoo animal." "You're a storm," he says quietly. "I'd like to stand nearer to the wind." Charlotte's gaze moves between us. She's not blind to chemistry. "This is happening tonight," she says. "Play nice." Gordon rises. As he passes, his arm brushes mine. "The contact is nothing but my skin records it anyway." "I'll see you on the line, chef," he murmurs. By 6, Luce is packed and the kitchen is pure noise. Pans hiss, burners roar, the air tastes like butter and lemon and stress. "Fire table 6, 2 scallops." "1 duck veg tasting," I shout. "Yes, chef." I'm in flow, nothing existing beyond the next plate. Then the air shifts. I glance up. Gordon stands at the edge of the line in dark jeans, black shirt, borrowed apron. Sleeves rolled, forearms bare. He looks both out of place and too at home. "You're in my way," I say, finishing a plate. "You didn't even look at me," he replies. "I didn't have to." The room got louder. He huffs a small laugh. "I'll stay out of the fire, promise." I point him to a pocket of empty space. "Stand there. If you touch anything that sizzles, I'm throwing you out." "Yes, chef." For almost an hour he just watches. I pretend it doesn't matter, but I feel his attention on every movement, how I taste, adjust plate. It makes me sharper and more exposed. "Is he staring?" Mia whispers as she slides past with a pan. "He's evaluating," I mutter. "So yes," she says. Service peaks. My jacket sticks to my back, my throat rough, and we move like a machine, one order from breaking. "Bread basket, table 4, Anya calls. I check the warming drawer. 2 sad slices of sourdough. "We're out," Marco says. "I can send Grissini." I hate it. Before I answer, Gordon steps closer. House bread is part of the story, he says. Shame to skip it. We're slammed, I snap. We're not starting dough now. You could do a fast focaccia, he says. I can help. I squint at him. You want to bake in the middle of service? I worked pastry for 3 years, he says. Let me prove I'm not just a pen and a fork. He knows how to challenge me. 5 minutes, I say. If you slow me down, I accidentally spill soup on your shoes. His eyes light. Deal. We move to the back prep table. It's still warm, but away from the worst flames. I dump flour into a bowl, add yeast, sugar, warm water, salt, olive oil. The smell of oil and waking yeast rises fast. Hands, I say. He plunges one hand in. I follow. Our fingers meet in the sticky mix. The dough climbs our skin as we pull and fold. His knuckles bump mine. His palm slides along the back of my fingers. Each touch sends a spark up my arms. This feels personal, he says. It's bread, I answer. Relax. First chef who taught me dough said it remembers, he says. If you're tense, it stays tough. My nonna said the same, I mutter. We knead. The rough mass turns smooth and elastic. Flour dusts his arms, my jacket. A white streak lands across his cheek. Hold still, I say. I wipe it away with my thumb. His skin is warm, lightly rough with stubble. He goes quiet. The kitchen noise recedes. The smell of yeast and his cologne wraps around us. Bella, he says my name low. I drop my hand. Dough's ready. Pan. He exhales, grabs the tray. Together we press the dough into the oiled metal fingertips, leaving dimples. Our hands keep bumping. This time, neither of us pretends not to notice. Herb oil, I say. Green bottle. He drizzles it over the dough, then looks at me like he's filing this away too. You're good at this, I admit. Told you, he says. I'm not just here to ruin lives. I grab one end of the tray. Walk in. Quick, proof, warm corner. We carry it down the back hallway. The noise fades. Our footsteps echo. My shoulder brushes his once, twice. I haul open the heavy fridge door. Cold air blasts out, shocking my overheated skin. After you, I say. We step inside. The door thuds shut, muting the chaos. Shelves tower around us, lined with labeled containers. It smells like citrus and metal and chill air. The compressor hums low. We slide the tray onto an empty shelf. You always hide dough back here, he asks. I like having one secret, I say. Everything else ends up on someone's table. I turn to go at the same time he turns toward me. We collide. My palms hit his chest. His hands close around my hips to steady me. Cold room. Warm hands. We both freeze. His grip tightens just enough to tell me he doesn't want to let go. My breath comes out in a short white puff against his throat. I feel his heartbeat under my fingers, steady and a little too fast. Sorry, I say. I'm not, he murmurs. I should step back. He should drop his hands. Neither of us moves. Bella, he says softly. Tell me to step away. I know the reasons. He's a critic. I'm the chef he's reviewing. Charlotte would murder us both. There are ethics and lines and common sense, but my body remembers how keyed up I've been around him since night 1. I'm not saying it, I whisper. His eyes darken. He bends and kisses me. His mouth is warm, tasting faintly of coffee and basil. One hand slides up my back, fingers spreading between my shoulder blades, pulling me closer. Heat blooms under my skin, chasing out the cold. My hands fist in his shirt. The kiss deepens fast, all the tension from the last few days catching fire at once. He makes a low sound that I feel all the way down. The hum of the fridge, my own heartbeat, everything folds into that one bright rush. We break only when air becomes non-negotiable. Our foreheads rest together, breaths puffing white between us. That was, I start. Reckless, he says. Yeah. Outside, faint through the door, someone shouts, "Chef," and the bell rings twice. Reality slams back in. I have a dining room, I say, stepping back. And you are not on my payroll. He lets his hands fall. Go, chef, he says, voice rougher. Before they assume I kidnapped you. I grab the handle, pause. This doesn't change your review, I warn. His mouth curves, almost a smile. It changes everything, he says. But we can pretend it doesn't. For now. I step back into the hot hallway and push through the doors to the line. No one knows what happened in the cold room. But as flames lick the pans and orders fly, I can still feel his hands on my hips and his mouth on mine. And I know the most dangerous heat in this building isn't coming from the stove, it's coming from us. The next 48 hours are torture. Not the broken bone kind. Worse, the slow psychological kind, where every sound, every smell, every brush of memory takes me right back to that walk-in fridge. And the moment I crossed a line, I can't uncross. Every time I close my eyes, I feel his hands on my hips, his mouth on mine, his breath against my cheek. And every time I open them, I'm furious all over again. At him, at myself, at the universe for being sick enough to let me fall for a critic. By the afternoon of the third day, I'm chopping herbs so aggressively that Mia finally whispers, "Chef, the basil didn't murder anyone." "Don't test me," I mutter. The truth is simple, I'm avoiding him. Which would be easier if Gordon weren't the kind of man who treats boundaries like suggestions. At 5 o'clock sharp, right before dinner service, he walks through the kitchen door like he owns the place. He's in a black shirt again, sleeves rolled, jacket slung over one shoulder. Hair slightly tousled from the cold outside. Notebook in hand. Every molecule in my body reacts. "No, absolutely not." "Out," I say immediately. "You're not allowed in here during prep." "You didn't answer my texts," he says. "Because I'm busy." I sent one. It was too many. A slow, amused smile spreads across his face. "You've been avoiding me." "Yes," I snap. "Congratulations, Sherlock." He steps closer. "We need to talk about what happened." "No," I say, grabbing a pan. "We need to sear scallops. That's what we need." "Bella." "You were right," I cut in. "It was reckless. It shouldn't have happened." His brows lift slightly. "So you regret it?" My heart stutters. I don't answer. He moves closer, voice low. "I don't." Heat flares under my skin. Before I can respond, Charlotte storms into the kitchen. Tall, sharp, perfect makeup, perfect hair, perfect contempt for everyone whose name isn't Charlotte, and today she looks furious. "Bella," she snaps, "a word." I sigh. I'm in the middle of now. I follow her into the hall. She shuts the door behind us, her expression like a polished blade. "Why is Gordon Cole writing an article about you?" she demands. "Because he asked," I say, "and you said yes, yes." Her eyes narrow. "Without consulting ownership, I didn't think I needed your permission to exist." "You don't," she says. "But you do need it to expose my kitchen to millions of readers." I fold my arms. He's writing about modern chefs. "I am one." "No," she says coldly. "You work for me. I am the brand." Ah, there it is. The truth she normally hides under PR-approved smiles. Before I can shoot back, she leans in slightly. I don't trust his intentions. My stomach drops. "Why?" "Because," she says, voice lowering, "I saw the way he looks at you." I go rigid. "That man is a wolf dressed as a writer," she continues. "He will use you for a headline and spit you out. I've seen it before." "Gordon isn't using me," I argue. "How do you know?" she asks. "Do you really think a critic wants to observe you because you make cute pasta?" I flinch. "Whatever is happening," she says sharply, "stop it, immediately, before he ruins you, before he ruins us." "I'm not a child, Charlotte. Don't talk to me like—" She raises one manicured finger. "You want the truth? Fine." Her voice softens. "Dangerous. I invested in you because you are talented, hungry, but not noticeable, not scandalous, not the kind of chef who ends up in gossip blogs." "What exactly are you implying?" I ask. "That Gordon Cole is bad for business," she says. "For my business." I swallow slowly. "You're worried about the restaurant." "No," she says. "I'm worried about control." There it is. The line that shifts the ground under my feet. Before I can respond, the hallway door swings open. "Gordon." He looks from me to Charlotte, jaw tightening. "Everything all right?" "No," Charlotte says immediately. "We're done here." She sweeps out, heels clicking like gunshots. The door closes. Silence. Gordon watches me, eyes darker than usual. "What was that?" "Nothing," I say. "Bella." My voice cracks. "She thinks you're distracting." He exhales a sharp laugh. "I'm distracting you. You kissed me. You kissed me back. That's not the point. He steps closer. Then what is? The point is, I whisper, I can't risk my career for someone whose job is to judge me. Something shifts in his expression, hurt, flashing so fast I almost miss it. You think that's what I'm doing? He asks quietly. Judging you. You're a critic. I'm a human being. I don't have the luxury of forgetting that I say. Every word you write affects more than me. It affects my staff, their paychecks, their families. He studies me, eyes, softer throat tightening slightly. I'm not here to hurt you, he says. You might not mean to, I reply. But you could. He nods once, painfully slow, like someone accepting a truth he doesn't like. Fine, he says. If distance is what you need, it is. Then I'll give it to you. I freeze. Of all the things I expected him to say, this wasn't one. My chest tightens, and I don't know why. He steps back. But I'm staying for service. I glare. Gordon. As a journalist, he finishes quietly. Not anything else. The words slice deeper than they should. He returns to the dining room. I return to the kitchen. Neither of us looks back. Dinner service is brutal. Orders fly. Pans crash. I move like a ghost of myself, fast, efficient, numb. But the numbness cracks every time Gordon moves in my peripheral vision. Every time the dining room door swings open. Every time I remember the cold room, the kiss, the heat. Chef Marco whispers during a brief lull. You good, Peachy? You look like someone died. Not yet. He sighs. Want my opinion? No. You're getting it anyway. He leans closer. You care. I don't. You do. I glare. He grins. Only reason you're mad is because you actually like him. I don't. Sure. Near the end of service, the problem arrives. Her name is Evelyn Hart, Charlotte's younger sister, and she is poison wrapped in Prada. She sashes into the dining room with a friend group that screams money and entitlement. She's loud, she's bored, she's drunk, and she wants trouble. Chef Anya whispers, appearing pale, table 8 is demanding you. I'm not doing tableside tonight. It's Evelyn. I inhale sharply. Damn it. I march to the dining room. She's lounging like a queen, swirling a glass of wine that probably costs more than my rent. Her friends giggle as if everything she touches is hilarious. Bella, she says too loudly. There she is, Ms. Hart, I say. You requested me. I did, she says. You sent me halibut. Yes, I say. I ordered steak. Anya steps forward. She didn't. Evelyn waves her off. I changed my mind. Fix it. I grit my teeth. I'd be happy to arrange. Her gaze drops to my hands. Oh my God, she says, laughing. You still have flour on you. Did you bake something? For who? My stomach flips. Her eyes gleam. Then she turns her head slow, deliberate toward table 12. Gordon. He's watching. Shit. What's the matter, she coos. Did you get cozy with the critic? I go cold. Watch your tone, I say softly. Oh, relax. She laughs. Everyone knows writers are sluts. My sister told me all about. I slam my palm on the table. The entire restaurant goes silent. Evelyn blinks. Did you just hit my table? Enough, I say. If you have a problem with the food, I'll handle it. But don't drag my staff or my guests into your tantrums. You can't talk to me like that. I just did. Her face reddens. I'll tell Charlotte. Please do. A heartbeat of stunned silence. Then Gordon stands up. Ms. Hart, he says calmly, as the guest you're referring to, if you want my attention, insulting the chef won't earn it. She goes stiff. This is none of your business. It became my business when you tried to weaponize me, he says. Her mouth opens and closes like a fish. Also, he adds, I did bake something with her. My heart stops. He says it lightly, almost innocently, but the truth burns under every word. Evelyn looks between us, horrified. Her friends whisper. Someone takes a picture. My vision tunnels. Gordon, I say quietly. Stop. He turns to me, eyes softening. She doesn't get to treat you like that. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. Evelyn shoots to her feet. I'm calling Charlotte right now. Go ahead, I say, but leave my dining room first. She storms out, heels stabbing the floor. Service limps forward after that shaken and messy. And when the last dish leaves the pass, when the last guest goes home, when the last pan hits the sink, I turn to find Gordon leaning against the prep table waiting. His expression is unreadable, a storm gathering behind calm blue eyes. "Bella," he says quietly, "we need to talk, and this time I can't pretend I don't want to."